Hello students, welcome back to English for grade 11. This is the final episode for Unit 8, Television Watching Habits. Today in this episode we will talk about the reading comprehension and the summary. So, to start with the summary, you have to know certain tips and ideas of how to read and answer the reading comprehension better. First of all, you have to read the questions before reading the passage. It will help you and give you a clear understanding of the location of the answers. So if you have read the questions beforehand, then it will be easier to find the answers while reading the passage for the first time. Then you have to read the passage carefully and thoroughly. You have to be in detail. You have to pay attention to the small details as well. Next, deduce the meaning of difficult words through the context. Okay, so if you don't know the word, the meaning of the word, just like understand the meaning of the word from the context itself, from the sentence itself. However, we have to pay attention to the keywords such as best titles, synonyms, antonyms, or refer to. So you have to understand what these words mean. So the best title, which is the best title suitable for the passage. Synonym means meaning, antonym means the opposite, okay? And refers to, that means what is talks about or who it talks about, okay? 5, repeat the questions as if you are explaining it to someone else to make sure you understood it. Just read them carefully and repeat them to yourself. The last point, take your time while reading the choices given to you to make sure you have chosen the correct one. Just read carefully the choices given to you in the paper. So, types of questions for reading comprehension are as follows. For the multiple choice questions, we have different types of questions. First, we have a main idea or best title. So, choose, it's either this or that. Number 2, the vocabulary. We have synonyms, antonyms, or definitions. Synonyms means closest to meaning. Antonyms means opposite of meaning. Definitions mean the meaning itself. Number 3, the word reference. What that word refers to. What refers to whom. It depends on the passage itself. 4, locating information. You have to find the information yourself. 5, it is true or false information. Different questions. Then we have productive questions. We have explicit questions, the answers are clearly mentioned in the text, and implicit questions, answers are implied in the text, are not given explicitly. So you have to think about it and give your answer to it according to the passage. It's not clear in the passage itself. You have to think about it yourself, the idea of it. Okay? So let's take a look at the passage and we'll follow these questions. So the reading comprehension, take a close look with me. Read the following passage and answer the questions below. Influenza, or the flu, is a serious breathing illness. It is caused by a virus and spreads through tiny droplets in the air after someone coughs or sneezes directly onto someone else or even close to him or her. So how do you know if someone has the flu or just a bad cold? Generally, if a patient comes down with the flu, he will suddenly have a fever. He will suffer from headaches and muscle and joint pain. A sore throat and a bad cough are also caused by the flu. He will also have a runny or stuffy nose. In addition, he will be fatigued with barely enough energy to move. Antibiotics can't kill viruses, so doctors don't prescribe them to treat the flu. But there are new anti-flu medicines that can help reduce the seriousness and length of the illness. Doctors give patients painkillers to relieve them from joint pain. It can also help with the headaches. Doctors also advise patients to make themselves a steam bath and breathe the steam through their nose. This can help with the runny nose. They also advise patients to drink plenty of fluids and finally get a lot of rest. So, let's take a look at the first question, which is the passage was mainly about. So the main idea of the passage was, what does it talk about? Does it talk about the flu, indications of the flu, how the flu spreads, or what happens to someone who has the flu? So the general idea of the passage is, can you try to guess? Think again. It's A, the flu. Okay? So let's go to the second question. The underlined word them in paragraph number 2 refers to what? Doctor, viruses, antibiotics, or symptoms. You have to look back again at the paragraph to see. If you can see the paragraph, the second paragraph, to see them in the sentence itself. Take a look again, and then it refers to antibiotics. Alright? So that's the correct answer. The third question, the underlined word fatigued means lazy, tired, sick, and fragile. So what does it mean? Again, from the context, you can know the meaning of it. It is tired. According to passage, all true except, so all of these sentences are true, except one of them is not. So one of them is also a wrong answer. So let's take a look carefully and closely. Influenza spreads through droplets of a person sneezing. Having the flu can cause you to feel weak and tired. Influenza and cold are two serious diseases. If you have the flu, you will generally have a fever. So all of them are true except for one. Which one is it? Try to think from the passage. It is C. Influenza and cold are two serious diseases. This is not true. 5. In the second paragraph, the writer A gives general information about influenza, B talks about his illness, C compares influenza with cold, D gives information on how to treat influenza. So in the second paragraph, what does the writer give you? So, what do you think? It gives information on how to treat influenza. That's the answer. Now let's take a look at the productive questions. So we have to answer the following questions. What does the influenza virus cause? What do you think? Well, we all know what a virus is. We all know the influenza. We all go through that every year, right? So what does it cause? It's all written in the passage. It causes a serious breathing illness. The influenza virus causes a serious breathing illness. And keep in mind that when you write these sentences, write them in full sentences. Just don't give me a bullet point, okay? Full grammatical sentence. Second question, how does the influenza virus spread? How can it spread? How does it spread? The influenza virus spreads through droplets of air after someone coughs or sneezes. Okay? It's also written in the passage itself. Question number 3. How can you tell if someone has the influenza virus? How can you tell? If someone is sick, how can you tell that he's sick? So generally, people who have the virus have a fever, headache, and sore throat. Okay? Fourth question, how can you get over an influenza? How can we treat it, basically? You should get plenty of rest and drink lots of fluids. You should also take painkillers, if needed. All right? Final question, what happens to someone when they are fatigued? We know that fatigue is tired, right? So what happens to someone when they are tired? They do not have energy to move. It's not written exactly in the passage, but we can understand from the meaning of fatigue that we don't have the energy to move. Okay? Great job. Now we go to the summary making. When answering a summary question, you should consider the following. 1. Read and understand the question properly. 2. Read and understand the paragraph itself. Number 3. There are usually 5 answers in the passage. Number 4. Under 4 of them, this is all we need. We need 4 sentences. 5. Change sentences from active to passive. We have to use the passive voice. Number 6. Join the answers using words like first, second, third, and finally. Or maybe you can use something else. firstly, secondly, thirdly, and lastly. Or maybe first, also, moreover, and in addition. These words help to join the sentences together. For example, if I'm talking about 4 ideas, we can connect them like first, the first idea. Then I have the second idea. Also, give me more ideas. And finally, you have the final idea. So we have 4 ideas, we can connect them using these words in the first. And we'll have an example just to show you of how to use them properly. Alright? So now let's take a look at the passage at hand. In 4 sentences, summarize and paraphrase the following passage. We have a question here. How can smokers quit smoking? So this is the question that we want to answer and to read the passage to summarize the answer of that question. No pain, no gain. Quitting smoking needs a strong will and a lot of effort. Many smokers want to quit smoking. They know it is bad for their health, but it is difficult for them to do so. Doctors advise heavy smokers to reduce smoking gradually, starting to cut down to 2 to 3 cigarettes a day until they reach their goal. Others find that chewing a gum keeps a smoker busy all day long. This helps reduce the number of cigarettes consumed. Practicing sports can improve the health and give smokers the strength to quit this habit. Some people join support groups where smokers gather to support and encourage each other. So this is the passage, and we want to find the answer for that question. How can smokers quit smoking? So what do you think? Try to underline and take the ideas from the passage itself. So read it again to find the answer of that question. So we have needs a strong will and a lot of effort. That's number 1. And reduce smoking gradually, starting to cut down to 2 to 3 cigarettes a day until they reach their goal. That's another solution of how to quit smoking. Another solution is that some others find that chewing gum helps to keep a smokers busy all day long. So instead of smoking a cigarette, chewing a gum helps. So one more is practicing sports can improve the health and give smokers the strength to quit this habit. So we have here 4 ideas and 4 answers of how to quit smoking. So now we are going to put these examples and ideas in use. So for example, first we used the joint word to join the sentences, right? I gave you earlier today. Smokers who want to quit smoking need a strong will and a lot of effort. If you can take a close look at this sentence, we have keywords taken from the passage itself, which is strong will and a lot of effort. But when put in a single sentence, we put it in a very full grammatical sentence. Okay? It's not just strong will and effort. We have a full grammatical sentence using that keyword. Second, they should reduce their cigarette consumption by 2 or 3 cigarettes every day. So I minimized the cigarettes, just like in the passage, but in a different way. So this is the idea that I summarized, that cutting down cigarettes helps, but I put it in a full grammatical sentence using second to join the sentence with the first sentence. Now, moreover, this is another way to join the sentences together. This is for the third sentence, and now I'm gonna see that chewing gum, that is the keyword, can help smokers busy. Okay, so that's the idea. I use chewing gum as the idea. This is the keyword that I've chosen. Okay. Finally, this is how to show the final sentence. Smokers can play sports, which will give them the strength to quit this bad habit. So I've chosen playing sports or being healthy, just like in the original passage, but in a different structure of the sentence. So it's the same idea, but different structure of the sentence. We take the keywords from the passage, but we write them our own way. We write our own sentences. Keep that in mind. And if you take a quick look at it, it's 4 sentences. It's not bullet points. It's not written in 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. No, it's one paragraph, but in full sentences. This is how we summarize and paraphrase. Keep that in mind. And again, this is how the rubrics look like. This is how you will be graded on the content and the relevance of ideas. So if you take in like the 4 ideas from the passage, you will have the best or higher grade. And the paraphrasing, if we took the keywords and changed the structure of the sentence, helps the paraphrasing, not just copying and pasting the sentence itself. Spelling and grammar. And of course, you can avoid this problem with copying the same spelling from the passage. You can see the word itself, the keywords, and you can take it as an advantage to avoid spelling and grammatical mistakes. And of course, the format, it means a paragraph, not bullet points. Clear? I hope it is clear. To summarize, we did an exercise on the reading comprehension, and we looked on how to summarize a certain passage with answering a following question. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.